I've been able to take care of my family as an actor, but that's never been my passion. I was an actor because it was like Jesus walking on water for tips, because he could do it. That's what he did. It was a natural thing for him.
They have to invent a new version, a new religion, and they have to manipulate people to love it.
I've always been an empath. I've always been emotionally connected to everything. But the thing that I was most spiritually connected to, that was my driving force, was physics.
And they have to manipulate people to accept it. They have to create an idol, create a symbol.
Wondering how the universe really came to be. And I fell in love with this thing called the flower of life. You guys know Da Vinci?
Create a rally point. They have to create the positive.
Who in here knows the flower of life?
Movement that will get people to feel unified, but also still accept the programs that are being sold by a system of control and manipulation that keeps people in power. So they want to sell. Basically, the two main things they got to box people into are the religious people.
Like Jesus walking on water for tips.
It's 95% of the people of the earth plane. And they got the science people.
Who in here knows the flower of life?
Who are basically an atheistic version of reality, separated themselves from. So you have the people who have separated themselves from the Most High, and the people who are supposedly connected to the Most High through religions, which is just another separation program when you factor in the church and all that other stuff. When you really look at it, they're both designs of instability, insecurity, separation, which leaks into the family structure, which leaks into the fact of having, and the reasons why you have slaves calling themselves successful, slaves calling themselves happy, when it's really a self-destructive illusion. People are very depressed and caught up in having alcohol be legal, having cigarettes be legal, and not necessarily just have that legal, but to have cannabis and mushrooms and ayahuasca and all this other stuff that is beneficial to the individual and the collective as a whole, to be criminalized. So this is the separation program as a whole. What they have to do is sell. They have to unify everybody, and they're going to unify everybody with God.
Have you guys ever seen this before? Now, you know this is one of the oldest symbols in human history, right?
The idea of God, their idea, their limited perspective version of God. And they're going to sell these stories that have been sold to you through Hollywood, through subliminal messaging.
This symbol was found in the Temple of Osiris in Egypt, and it had been molecularly burned into the wall. And it's 6,000 years old. This same symbol has been found in the forbidden temples in China, sitting under the fufu dogs, and the foot on it, the flower of life, saying whoever controlled that flower of life controlled the universe.
They have these billboards all over the place, pinning creationism up against evolution. They're priming people. So they're going to come out with the fact that the evolution program was actually a theory. They're going to talk about all this stuff, which is probably why they released the flat earth information on the mainstream with Neil deGrasse Tyson and Tila Tequila and all this stuff, and they'll probably institute it into this new version of our reality so it can make them look like the good guys, because they've already made religions, the church, the bad guys. They already know that the scientists are the bad guys. They set them up. They are the actual scientists, but they're going to split these groups up as bad guys so they can create good guys.
There were secrets in that flower of life that Da Vinci spent his whole life trying to uncover. There were secrets in that flower of life that Newton spent his whole life in secret trying to uncover. The same secrets that Pythagoras was desperately trying to uncover. But their problem was they kept seeing this in a two-dimensional space. They couldn't get it out of this two-dimensional frame, and as a result, they got stuck in this plane, a flat plane.
This is why they created all these movies in Hollywood with superheroes and all this stuff to make you play this blue and red game to maintain their purple royalty. and keep that money, that fiat currency system rolling, and sell you another idol.
They were trying to find a way to bring this flower to life because what is inside of it? Well, apparently there were secrets inside of it.
And also throw everything under the bus and just kind of co-opt everything, just like they do with everything. They take everything and sell it back to you.
They got the Makerba and all of those other things out of it. But they were misled by something I think called a straight line. You guys believe in straight lines?
And you just have to buy and go with it because that's what the status quo is. That's what all your peers are doing. That's what everything is all about, because they've basically played everybody. They played everything out. They bought and sold everything and everybody, and everything that has some kind of essence, like this flower of life symbol, which is going to be their rally point. They've seen the flower of life all over. They put it out in your face too, like it's found in Egypt, found in China, found in South America, found all over the world.
This symbol was found in the Temple of Osiris. The same symbol has been found in the forbidden temples in China.
And they're going to use this as the rally point to sell in this new version of God, religion, and science. And they'll probably kind of put it into this whole keep the Big Bang and call it like a quantum God, or everybody is a mathematical God.
All motion is expressed in what? You look at galaxies. Are they expressed in straight lines? Expressed in vortices.
Once this symbol appeared on this so-called international flag of Earth and put on this astronaut lady's arm with this whole, this is a whole setup. You know they're using this. It's part of their agenda. So it doesn't take away from the essence of what that information is within those circles. It doesn't take away from that at all, unless you give it to that and give that energy. But once you understand it, you'll see the energy doesn't originate with these individuals who utilize this magic. The energy exists as a whole on its own.
That's been the mistake. We've been looking at these straight lines, this Euclidean way of thinking, and missing the curvature of nature.
They're using this to make an idol so they can have everybody rally around. And this is an easy thing to have people rally around because it's simple. It's math. These are just 7 circles. The flower of life is just 19 circles, and it's just going to represent.
You believe there's straight lines in the universe? Well, let me hit you with something. All energy in the universe is expressed in what? It's in motion. If something is still, there's no energy. Kinetic, right?
It's going to be sold to represent this oneness agenda, this unified agenda, so they can use the back door to get out of having to answer for all of the bullshit that has gone within the colonization of the entire Earth plane, the indigenous people, the death and destruction that has been manipulated over and over again for profit to keep these people, these what people are calling now the 1% and all this shit, keeping people on the top, the people, the haves and the have-nots. They want to pump out forgiveness on a collective scale. This is where the New Age movement and the New Age community comes in, which is why they rationalize everything and they say, oh, those are those people. Oh, that's that journey. That's those, this will all be handled by the universe. The universe will provide it. Just use the law of attraction to get a Lamborghini, and use the law of attraction to find your love of your life and tap into your manifestation and creation. And listen to Oprah, who's buying all these individuals like Eckhart Tolle. So a good example of this is how they're using the flower of life to sell in this new version of God, is how Oprah has co-opted Eckhart Tolle. When you read Eckhart Tolle's books, his information, he's talking about the present moment, the power of now, and all this stuff. Like, that fits in your world, but that's not the answer to the world and all this shit. There is no answer. There are no answers to the world. This is just information that exists that can help you understand your reality and understand yourself, understand your power, understand your connection, and more so understand and overstand your reality as a whole, and not limit yourself to a linear frame of thought.
You believe there's straight lines in the universe?
So how Eckhart Tolle has been kind of brought into the the Oprah community to talk about this stuff, he kind of validates her existence, but she's still connected to Monsanto. That doesn't make Eckhart Tolle a bad guy or anything. His information is just what it is. The way he speaks is just who it is. He's just a dude, and that's it. But if you start to worship these individuals like Oprah and Beyonce and all these people have been worshipped, that's when it starts to get weird.
And say, well, what's the space in between all of these things? Now, they've said that all the in-between spaces, if this is the Earth and this is the moon right here, all this in-between space is filled with what? A void. There's nothing in the void. Well, I found that there is something in the void.
That's when it starts to get into another realm of interaction. And this is what they're going to do, what they've already been doing with this symbol. They refer to it as the flower of life.
The elementary fundamental particles that they've been searching for at the CERN Collider, the Hadron Collider in CERN, I found that their energy signatures matched perfectly to some of the pieces that I was able to pull out of here.
And it's already been around everywhere. It's a very simple design. It's a good rally point for them. And they can just take it and say, this is ours. And commercialize spirit, commercialize math, commercialize geometry, commercialize nature, in a sense, for their benefit. Because they need something for people to buy. This is why the flower of life has been slapped on everything and subliminally programmed in your face for so long without you even knowing it, and how they're also going to pretty much just buy people. It's just going to buy people and get people to just be like, finally, I'm glad they found, the oneness. And this is how they're going to get all these new age people to buy into this world.
Now, this has always been an information system.
So this is an example. This is a spirit science, and they got TED Talks on here. They got, just like that other collectively conscious, that fake ass new age transhumanism agenda bullshit. They sell you all this like so-called positive information. Oh yeah, this is all changing. This is all good, free energy. Solar this and sustainable. And they like to use that word, sustainable living. All that shit. They use these things. They're selling you. They got to sell you something positive because they've been selling you bags of shit for so long. And they got to co-opt this essence. They want everybody to turn into like this guy. Like they make these new superheroes. They want to turn you into a cyborg. They want to merge man with technology so they can continue on to their process of this transhumanistic agenda.
What I've done is I've figured out about 7 different elementary particles, fundamental particles. And then there were secondary generational particles that seemed to occur. And when these things began to build up more and more, they began to create their own systems. And these systems is what I brought to Oxford because I would like for you guys to examine them.
Keep the energy being funneled through a control grid. So they have to utilize the essence, like stuff of like sacred geometry, so they can sell it to people.
All of these wave conjugations, all of these states of matter, all of these things, it's time for that to be changed now.
So I'll get to that in a second. I just wanted to scroll through this TED Talks bullshit on this page to show you, just like on the other page, Collectively Conscious, that this is how they're going to see. They got SpaceX right there, their new version of NASA and all this shit. Elon Musk. See, this is how they're going to sell. They got Iron Man in the background. This is how Marvel programs you.
Let me know, and I'll get you a bottle, okay?
Hey, heat up a sake, will you? Thanks for reminding me.
I'm not talking. We're not drinking. We're working right now.
Hollywood, Marvel, they sell you these idols so you can worship. And the flower of life is going to be like the geometric version of a superhero that you can worship. It's not what it's for. That's not what it represents. That's not what it's all about. It's an idol if you turn it into an idol, and that's how they're selling it.
The flower of life has been opened, and when we get an opportunity, I'd love to show you some of these things.
They programmed you with Hollywood and these athletes, and all these people with all this money system. They programmed you to worship idols. So now that everybody's been primed to worship idols, they can now sell in this quantum god, and this in order for people to buy into it, they have to explain it mathematically.
All vortices are expressed in what? Waves. All waves are curved. Show me a straight line in nature. You show me where the platonic solids come from. Where do they have their foundations in our universe? Are there any straight lines? If you look at anything, there are no straight lines.
So they want to sell in technology, and they're probably going to utilize people like Nassim Haramein to factor in. However, I don't know, his theory of the Earth hurling through space and that whole like super heliocentric model. Maybe they might go into the flat Earth and talk about it from there. Maybe they might go into some hollow Earth stuff and talk about toroidal fields. I don't know exactly. They can address this from every angle, but I'm definitely seeing why I'm making this video right now. They're using this. They're going to idolize the flower of life to sell the new age agenda instead of actually understanding it.
So these are some things that I'm bringing to the fore and that I would like to question. I would like to audit the math, the world of mathematics, and I would like to audit how we view the platonic solids, because I think the new wave conjugations will tell a better story of how our world works.
They're going to sell you thoughts, chakras, sacred geometry, astral travel, and ball it up into this Atlantean history, this Atlantean story. And they've been priming you up with that even in the 40s and 50s with the Sinbad movies. Sinbad sailing to Lemuria and all that occult symbolism and all that stuff inside those old movies. So this program goes way back. And they're just going to put it all in one thing, and then they're going to sell it to you like, most people don't realize that there's a very powerful connection between spirituality and science.
We have changed all of our buildings to be aerodynamic. Our airplanes are no longer based on a two-dimensional Euclidean way of life, but our math is still based on a two-dimensional way. And I think in order for us to reach the future, we have to examine that.
All of our modern scientific fields are slowly but surely coming full circle in understanding a very cosmic connection between all things. Atoms, particles, plants, animals, humans, and galaxies all function under very similar patterns and principles of existence. And this is the pattern, the flower of life. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Here it is. It's on your astronauts. It's on your Kleenex. It's on your mattresses. It's on your weed. It's on your cannabis. This is all good, right? It's on your yoga mat. It's on Coldplay's album on the 50 Super Bowl 50. Beyonce's dancing there with Coldplay and Bruno Mars. We're going to Mars with Bruno Mars with a head full of dreams. The commercial spirit is what they're talking about.
Put them to test, because I bet you will find all the fundamental particles that they've been looking for in the unified theory of the universe. It's a big statement, but I've got a lot of stuff to back it up if given the opportunity to do so. But the flower of life has been opened, and when we get an opportunity, I'd love to show you some of these things. Can I go on?
Yep, you good?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they start talking about Tesla stuff, and they're going to ball up the bad guys and sell in these good guys. These are what the good guys look like. Your astronauts, your people who smoke weed and all this other stuff, your yoga people, your Coldplay, your good celebrities, not the bad celebrities, your good celebrities. This is why the Marvel movies, Hollywood, was all set up to create these superheroes and all this stuff. They've been subliminally programming you.
The flower of life is the information behind how the universe was created. Everything in the universe is geometric.
Yeah, they'll probably come out with the flat earth stuff and start talking about, this and that, and it's all about sacred geometry and just look at this. We promise we're good people. We promise it's the right thing. This is what you should do. Here's free energy. Here's Here's Tesla stuff. Here's a new version of money. Here's this, here's that. Here's a microchip you can put in your arm and be a cyborg. You can access this and access that with this international money system. You can put this flag on your front porch and be a citizen of the earth instead of a citizen of the nation.
It's believed by mystics to be a symbol of advanced superconsciousness, a way of plugging into the knowledge possessed by extraterrestrial beings. Da Vinci, we can fairly say, was practically obsessed with it. And one wonders if Da Vinci actually tapped into the ultimate cosmic secrets represented by the flower of life.
I'm afraid that is all we have time for. So please join me in thanking Terrence.